discussion in regards to various aspects of consciousness. We have something going on with the TikTok thing here. It's brought up their screen for some reason. So am I just going to shut this off? Oh. Okay, just once, I can just ignore it.
Yeah,
right?
you can put it.
Okay.
You can click on the yellow thing.
So at the point that we have a question about what we're doing and what our purpose of the moment is, nobody's going to have the same answer, you know, as what you do, and when you're determining purpose, then that's something you should do on your own first, you know, rather than not knowing who or what you are and then supporting a group identity that just happens to be the people that you're hanging out with. If you need order and clarity and understanding in your life, then you know, the source of that resolution has to be you, and it can't be the contextual you that is trying to improve herself, because that's not the identity that would define you by anybody that knew you throughout an expanse of eternity, right? The human you is a rather limited temporary role, you know, that whatever this true spirit of you actually is. And so ascertaining what that is, if you can do it in a reasonably realistic frame of mind where you don't buy into the deal, well, it might take you 96 lifetimes, you know, of single-minded focus, but since you can't remember if this is your first one or your last one or something in between, then, you know, is there anything any group has to offer you that was worth taking their guarantee on? I don't see any. Because if you don't have a living example of the final result of the pathway that somebody's selling, so that you can see what you get, then how do you know what they're saying is true? You know, if everybody's arguing about the truth and not having somebody standing right there, you know, kind of like Brad Pitt and Troy, and saying, hey, here's our proof that what we say is true. This is what the result of embodying and understanding and being, you know, true to our map of reality. You know, so it looks like everybody out there's maps are relatively fucked, but I haven't done a exhaustive one. But, you know, I'm just saying, if anybody anywhere knew, they'd be so excited about it that everybody else would soon know and investigate. And, you know, anybody that had any kind of a following that stumbled upon Shangri-La and found a celebration of divine beings that immediately saw them as their own, and, you know, you had the party of a lifetime and then came back to tell about it. How about something like that, you know? I mean, is probably a little bit rude to ask of the divine for it to be delivered on a silver platter in exactly the way you'd like it to be. But on the other hand, if you're willing to accept it in whatever form that it is, regardless of who's presenting it, then how easy is it going to be for you to be atonement free and the free expression of, a universal consciousness, If it's universal, then it's everything. And if it's everything, then which aspects of it are you getting pissed off about? So if you're open to everything, you're open to everything. Now, as far as your human body's concerned, you can't be open to everything. I mean, if there was a real sun the size of that painting over there, you probably wouldn't want to go and give it a hug. So reasonable logical limits on, your personal safety and well-being, but those things aside, handle them the best that you can, but then take a really good look at who's asking the question that's confused, and that your experience is that a state of confusion, a state of being stuck in your mind and being mindful, being full of mind. How do you empty that cup so that something new can come in? Well, if you're mindful, then there's a whole lot of completions. You can say congratulations, you graduated. You're free to go. That sounds kind of weird, but again, like that example of the subway. What's your next stop? Okay. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. Then, since you haven't started, you're just set, go about now. Assess the construct of your consciousness, all the different aspects, all the fragmented states of being that you carry around inside you and use according to whatever time something comes up that stimulates them. And say, hey guys, here's the next stop. Whose job has been completed now and wants to get off? All you guys, it's your retirement day. Go home, have a good life. There, you actually did some of that, didn't you? Yeah, let it all go. Let them all be retired. All of the aspects of self that are confused, misidentified, over-identified, experiencing themselves in a life of fear and, just allow all to be in the midst of that place where everybody who has a near-death experience dies and goes to the light, experiences a state of love so palatable, so complete, and so directed at you that there's no part of you that can hide from it. Every aspect of yourself is going to get loved up immediately. And then having had an experience that was beyond what you could have ever imagined for yourself when you're alive. But you know, you're dead for 2 minutes and all kinds of transformational shifts happen. So bring them back with you. And let yourself be changed by the transformational truth, you know. That there's nothing except your willingness to open and receive. And in that willingness to actually do it and experience all the repercussions and staying open anyway. Because those repercussions are the things that resonate and counter resonate with you until this universe can come to terms again with what frequency you're in, and then it all smooths out, you know. So taking your medicine in terms of, you know, discomfort and a transformational experience is the result of making that choice for that next subway stop and having it be a qualitatively different one than what you've been living here as. And then you allow yourself to sense that in every way and feel what life is like. And then staying focused on that and open and allowing for everything, every mistake, every lie, everything that deadened your experience to universal truth. You know, everything that shifted your focus into believing that you are wrong, that you aren't true. I'm going, wow, I really fell for that one. Thank God I'm back. So just be back. You don't have to sort through every time your universe collapsed because you believe somebody, because you bought a story. You know, you got married because you love the hug. You know, how do you deal with having a qualitative transformational better according to your own point of view, not anybody else's? Life's the way you want it, consciousness the way you'd like it. What would that look like? What would that feel like? And allow that to actualize within the experience of you in the now. To stay connected with that creation of that ideal reality for you. Let that be the program of what's real and true. You have to do that long enough for you to feel it being real and true for yourself. And then when it's real and true for yourself, you know, just saved yourself. You know, you broke free. Now you can experience your wholeness. You know, now you can see what's real and what's not, what's created for the celebration of beauty, or something that's created to entrap and confuse and destroy, you know. That's a pretty basic one, you know. You gotta see reality as it is, so that, you know, in the beautiful way that you, instead of fighting for survival on somebody who wants to eat you, right? Pretty basic, but we've all compromised ourselves, you know, severely a lot of times in a lot of areas like this. So it's time to forgive ourselves for that. Wake up from the level of confusion that you're at to make those kind of choices. And just remember that that's not actually you. That was a default role that somehow was being played instead of you being present. Me too, of course. Then you can begin to let those qualitative shifts happen, the ones that, you know, all the suppressions that you have physically, you know, that really help create your experience of reality. You know, the places where you're physically shut down and disabled and oppressed a little bit. You get to let all of those go. That's part of the process too. Everything that ever suppressed you, that has a lingering impression on you in the moment, there's no need for it. You're not saying yes to that anymore. You're saying yes to freedom without suppression. Freedom without needing to compete and be in conflict and to win in order to survive. A level of survival where there's prosperity across the board. Where everyone is awake enough to be competent at what they do. So everybody else wants to support them in doing it. That's a kind of a first stage requirement, you know, for an enlightened community, I think. If you're fucked up, you got to go to preschool. But if you're ready to celebrate right now and you can harmonically resonate with whatever you experience, then, you know, here's your golden ticket. Come on in. No prerequisites other than the willingness to be free. It's a choice to be free. And a choice that you're supporting by choosing and opening and receiving the results of the choice realized. You can't just say it and wish. say it. You have to feel it and know it and understand it until you embody it. And then you have to wait for the unity to a resonance with the fact that you made a qualitative shift on who and what you are here. So it has to reformat itself. It takes a little time, even though it's instantaneous. It depends on the quality of your consciousness, how the shifts make, how they're made. At one level of truly experiencing yourself as a free flow, then it's an instantaneous transformation with no disruption to your state of consciousness and free expression other than going, you know, that's the change. Wow, nice. So experience, yourself there in the wow. Nice. Then let more and more of your life begin to resonate with that. Until every aspect of you, every personality that you're at, according to whichever connection you're expressing yourself to at that moment, all of them, all of you, are open to having that qualitative shift be a smooth and easy and joyful one. So just let it, just like that. And me too, yeah. Yeah, we're right there in the spot that's been painful for a long time, but boy, is it ready to go. Everything that we look at, just, oh, thank you, it's my turn. And it leaves. So just look at it from a point of view that allows everything that you look up to just go, oh, thank God. And welcome their release into the truth that sets them free according to their own point of view about themselves, their own choice, their own understanding. And you for yourself, yeah, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, you got to experience 1,000 lifetimes at once in order to begin to understand, how miraculous change happens easily, in a world of silliness. But why not? Why not from that level? Why not from the level that is as good or better as has ever been done before, but, easy, joyfully, of coursely, of course, how else? What's the point of there being such a thing as grace, unless you allow it to move you? You allow yourself to understand it and to know it and go, yeah, I see why graceful likes flowing that way, So how do you have your miraculous transformation in a way that allows the flow of grace to be something that you're recognized as, something that you're realized as. And you don't stand in the way of any of that. You know, you ask the question, the question's asked, and the answer's immediate, and you let the answer happen. You don't try to figure it out. You don't try to understand it. You ask the question, and the answer's there, and you're just a little too dense to receive it clearly. But how do you solve that? By asking that right question. You know, how can you wake up easily, beautifully, joyfully, powerfully, and in a stable way where it's the best life you could imagine ever wanting to live? There, you feel what that brings up? Yeah, this is the subway station stop for all of that. Let it go out that door. Find its own way. Be reconfigured in whatever it chooses. But it's not part of the red train or the green train. Not anymore. Well, what is? What did emptying your cup, allow you to now take in? Something really healing. Yeah, that made room for some healing of things that have been so given up on that it felt like it was forever destroying me, something I could never get away from. It's okay to wake up enough to confront things like that in an easy way, in a confident way, in a compassionate way, with whatever it is. Oh yeah, okay, I see what happened. It's all over now. Everybody won. Where you want to go. Now, you see it over there? Okay. Have a good trip. Let it go. It's already making life easier to bear, isn't it? And anything that's been uncomfortable, I've surely been uncomfortable. What else feels like it's so damaged that it needs to heal? Okay, so whatever all those parts of your body that raise their hand and said, yeah, I'm hurt, and another part says, me too, yeah, all of us over here. Okay. That's all within your wholeness. So on one level or another, you're already feeling it. So just be willing to understand it now. They're already feeling it, understand it, know why it's there, know what the message is, know what the frequency is, know where it originated, know when its purpose, what it takes for its purpose to be fulfilled, and then realize it in such a way that all of it's been fulfilled already. And realize it to the extent that there's nothing else that wants to do anything other than say, well done. You know, it's done. It's over. It's complete. Welcome home. And it really shouldn't be as difficult as I just described. It's just, you know, an indication of how slowly I'm willing to let things go and progress. But yeah, I'm willing now. I'm ready. Matter of fact, I'm already half baked. I'm going to leave the oven door closed and sit here for a minute, or 32. Until the next subway stop of unconditional self-love. Was there one more stop on the way there? It looks like there might be. The next stop is unconditional self-love. In a divine way, not a narcissistic one. And one where you just, wow, I love it here. I love this body. I love this mind. I love this life's history. This is a pretty good place to start a life. Ready, set, go. How about that as a way to begin your new life? Ready, set, go. Guess that'll have to be the name of one of my books. As if I'm ever going to write a book. So now at this point I have a bunch of things dissolving to the point where there's actually a bit of a flow happening. And the more that I notice that, the easier it is for everything that's dissolving to finish dissolving. So that there's an open, clear channel. The light of consciousness and truth doesn't have to percolate for 1,000 years down through the levels. It's up and a down and a whatever it is. Like that. Just let it. And let everything that comes in stimulate a greater and greater opening and understanding and brilliance of your wholeness. And anything that wants to stay is fuel for the fire of the transformational truth. It's just a flame on the altar. I think that's a subway stop we'd all want to get off at and explore for a while until we have a complete understanding of how life is experienced that way in every circumstance. You know, I would suggest that that's probably, you know, a good spot for whatever the next stage in human evolution is. You know, why not take a big step? Obviously, a bunch of people are going to. And if they actually do it, everybody else will follow. So I guess